we're going to do just that, Clint. And I think the big thing that Splyce needed to do as well before Jerd gets here is obviously pick up as many wins as they can, having that clean 3-0, and also having the Epsilon matchup before Jerd does get back is going to bode very well for them. We're going to break it down, though, map by map. First, we're going to start off with the hardpoint, Joe.
Yeah, hardpoint, I think just right away, sort of Splyce set the pace. I mean, they go up about 90 seconds the first two hills. They're winning rotations 3v4, and that about does it, right? There's about a 100-point lead that they keep the entire time. You had a great map really out of the core three of Splyce, and that just about did it. It literally starts from this first hill. Splyce, they were able to get most of this time, take it over the second one. Streaks are started to earn, and again, just a great overall game for Splyce.
Yeah, and I mean, the big problem obviously is when you're playing with a sub player, like how much experience do you have on the maps? It's their 4th time playing St. Marie. Like, they're gonna have it together by now, especially like the practice in the LAN environment as well. On the flip side of things, the good things you can say about Epsilon, not too sure what they are, but some of the bad, like they're down by 100 points and they're rotating for hills like 30 seconds in advance. Like Nathan's going to the back like sandbags area and he's just posting up. And yes, you do want the spawns, you want the rotations, but like if you're already down by 100, you can't just afford to give up 30 seconds. Like obviously you have a lot of things you need to do, but they were just doing some pretty questionable things. There was even a play right at the start where it's like in the middle hill with about 20 seconds left on it, they have 2 players just looking out of the exact same door stacked up right next to each other, and then Banch just goes down the stairs and shoots both of them in the back. Like, I don't understand why you would need 2 players not moving, stationary, looking the same direction. Like, just little things like that. It just seems like that's what you expect out of like ranked teammates, right? It's like you both have the same idea in mind, but in the pro league, like everyone needs to understand that role. And of course, those 2 kills early on actually give Bant streaks and help jumpstart him to the phenomenal game that he had. Obviously, 28 kills.
Are those teammates holding you back a chance from your true potential?
There's a lot of things that hold me back in ranked, but yeah, if you're ever on my team, please, for the love of God, just play the hill.
No, I think the big thing is, right, when you talk about St. Marie Dumont, typically it's trading hills, right? Like if I win Winery, you're probably going to win Parking Lot. The game sort of forces you to rotate, but if you saw that scoreboard, that box score, Splyce win all 4 hills. They're winning rotation. They're getting scrap time. If you're Epsilon, you just can't allow that to happen.
So when we were actually watching the second game, Chance was trying to figure out how many collats we've actually seen so far. This collat was pretty great to watch, and it's going to be our play of the game presented by Scuff. Chance, break this one down.
Epsilon body stack. This is an incredibly common sniper spot. And we know Tommy, we've seen Tommy snipe from this before, and like literally tried to give him the triple. Like, I don't get it. Like, you can see they threw a smoke down. They're like, oh, we can smoke it out and then cross. They throw the smoke and then walk out before the smoke hits. Like, I don't understand. That's just, I mean, obviously, that's not why they lost the Search and Destroy, right? Like, Splyce is doing a lot of things right. And again, if you want to talk about the picks and bans, that's the 3rd or 4th time that Splyce has played that map as well. So any problems they would have with Felony, well, now they'd be able to figure them out. But they've looked good on the map as well. So that's the pick and bans things. Obviously, props to Tommy. He looked great with or without the sniper. He's been a beast in Search.
Did you figure out how many collats we've actually seen on the main stage?
3 that I know about. Theory had one on Texas, Chino had one on St. Marie, and then obviously that one right there for the Forest.
All right, well, there are 3 parts to every 3-0, so the next map we're going to take a look at is CTF, but Epsilon shows some serious signs of life in this one.
Yeah, I think the slaying was there, and on Flat Tower, right, I think most of them are positive when this game ends, but Splyce, they make the smart play, and you love what they did to get that last flag cap. They extend the overtime. They want that extended time to come through. They don't return the flag to make it go to OT. They use the last 50 seconds to really make that one more push. Tommy is able to pull that flag, and that just allows them to get the game winner.
Yeah, I will say, though, like, Epsilon obviously had quite a few opportunities to maybe have this game go their way. Like, even if you just look at the kills column, like, all across the board, they did pretty fine in terms of winning gunfights. And yes, they lost the map, but I would take that as a small positive, right? Like, yes, Epsilon has had a very rough week, but the amount of information they've been able to gain, the amount of practice that they've had from this week, again, we saw Mindfreak do it from the first 2 weeks of the Pro League. They can use all that. They have, what, 4 days now where they can go over the VODs, they can scrim against whoever they want in North America, and they can learn as much as possible. So if you have performances where you do okay, things just don't go your way, you can learn from it. So there's a lot that Epsilon can take in to hopefully make some adjustments for next week.
Rightfully so. We put a lot of emphasis on hitting that top 4. That's obviously going to be your goal. You want to make sure that you get to the playoffs. You want to make sure that you're securing a good positioning. But one of the things that we don't talk about very often, and we don't even throw in the graphics, is just how important, Joe, a 5th, 6th placing can actually be in your group.
Yeah, I mean, 5th, 6th gets you a spot stage 2, right? You don't go to relegation. You're here again for another 4 weeks. You get that extra cash money. Everybody loves that. But it gets you more practice, gets you prepared. I mean, yeah, you want to be a contender for stage 1, a contender for stage 2, but you heard that interview with Dave, you know, at New Orleans. He knows the time when they're at their best is typically after a bunch of international competition for COD champs. So they want to be here for stage 2 to get that competition. They have to get around that 5, 6 placing. But so far, with how stacked this division has, you know, become, really, with the likes of FaZe and Envy, how good they're playing, it's going to be a very tough one to do.
Yeah,